What's up, Taiwan? I'm Laurel Stewart with the news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan has been stepping up efforts to develop drones for national defense. Recent examples have shown how uncrewed systems can help counter larger, more conventional military threats. But as Alan Liu reports, legislators have not yet decided how much extra funding to put aside for drones.
Uncrewed surface vessels, or USVs, simulates the explosion of a target boat during a demonstration in southern Taiwan. Taiwanese drone maker Thunder Tiger showcased a swarm operation using two of its Sea Shark USVs, powered by Shield AI's HiveMind autonomous software. Swarm tactics use AI to enable multiple surface drones to operate as a unit. The vessels can conduct distributed reconnaissance or launch saturation attacks against larger enemy warships, creating an asymmetric advantage.
当然，我们台湾四面环海啊，这个要来那个关照的区域非常的广大啊，所以这种蜂群的一个战略哦，以及这个 AI 自主这个无人，好，就像我们今天看到的这样子，是多平台可以。
By combining and integrating software onto these hardware platforms, we are seeing a great return of investment because it offers better options for the decision makers whenever there are decisions to be made.
A group of Taiwanese lawmakers recently visited the Navy's newly established Littoral Combatant Command, which is designed to strengthen Taiwan's coastal defense capabilities. The new command also places an emphasis on integrating drones for surveillance and target acquisition. While both the government and private sector are investing heavily in drone technology, debate continues over how much Taiwan should spend on these systems. This has prompted President Lai Ching-te's call to greenlight a special budget of up to $6.5 billion to procure drones and USVs through the end of 2031.
规划筹购滨海尖针型、滨海攻击型无人机以及小型自杀无人艇。我要再次呼吁，立法院朝野各党团以国家安全为优先，支持行政院所提版本。
A California-based drone company says one of its USVs recently sailed inside the Philippines' exclusive economic zone and captured close-up footage of a Chinese guided missile destroyer. The incident highlights how a small drone boat costing a few $100,000 can get close to and potentially threaten a warship worth billions. Fu Huahong and Anna Lu for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan will no longer process visa applications for Moroccan citizens who want to travel to the country after Morocco did the same for Taiwanese.
摩洛哥政府骤然采取停发措施。 已经对国人赴当地商旅造成障碍，并影响两国交流。基于双边交流的对等原则，外交部宣布从7月30日起，除经专案核准外，暂停受理摩洛哥籍人士来台的签证申请。
Last week, Taiwanese citizens applying for Moroccan visas found that their applications had been suspended without notice. Taiwan's foreign ministry confirmed that the Moroccan government told its embassies to stop processing Taiwanese applications and has since instructed its offices to do the same. The ministry is urging the Moroccan government to resume exchanges as normal. Australia has become the top lender in the Pacific, replacing China in the post-pandemic era. That's according to new findings by the Lowy Institute. Australia also remains the top provider of aid to the region, having spent about $1.5 billion throughout the Pacific in 2024. That accounted for 37% of all aid in the area. While China's loans to Pacific nations are tapering off, its programs in the region are shifting towards smaller grants for sectors like health and education. Europe's wildfires continue to rage, and not just in Spain and France anymore. As people continue to battle the flames, there's been an outpouring of community spirit in some places as volunteers pitch in to help. John Ventriest reports.
A firefighting plane zooms towards its target, a patch of burning forest in Spain's smoldering countryside. Special planes like these can lift up to 6,000 liters of water into the air, ready to drench the flames below. But the battle against this year's massive wildfire outbreak has been a long one, and even the well-trained military pilots flying these missions are feeling pushed to their limits.
I just can't stop being shocked. The fire has indeed been on a colossal scale. We've been flying for kilometers from the loading point to the drop zones, taking in the desolate landscape. And the truth is, it's a real shame, because we're fighting to defend the greatest treasure we have, our countryside and our natural environment. And it's very emotionally draining.
Civilians on the ground face the nightmarish aftermath of these fires up close, sometimes returning to homes they can no longer recognize. For some people, like the residents of the town of Artana in Spain's east, the pain is compounded by the knowledge that they'd done everything right and still weren't spared.
Artana was one of the few municipalities that cleared the outskirts of the town during the winter. The entire perimeter area was cleaned because there was a large amount of leaf litter and undergrowth. The municipality did a great deal to clear it up and improve the town in that respect. But as you can see, the mountains are burning before our eyes.
Spanish officials said Wednesday that conditions overnight had helped firefighters get some control. But still, parts of the countryside burned fiercely, and Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says the coming hours will be critical. In neighboring France, firefighters exhausted by days of battling intense blazes take a moment to rest and gather their strength ahead of the next attack. Conditions have been tough, but firefighters haven't been alone, as a spirit of community spreads in affected areas. Everyone helps how they can. Volunteers form backup brigades to put out flames.
So when we saw this on the news, we couldn't just sit back and do nothing, so we said we'd go. I contacted my mate, he was up for it, off we went. So yeah, we got a hold of a milk tank from a farmer friend who kindly agreed to lend it to us. We loaded up and then came straight down. We took the highway, got here, and were sent straight to the site. And since yesterday, we've been here filling the wildfire tankers, doing everything we can.
Other volunteers tend to the evacuees staying in shelters, even giving their pets veterinary care.
I just couldn't sit in a flat doing nothing while all this was happening, knowing I might have some useful skills, or if nothing else, simply be able to lend a hand. Turns out there's plenty to do here. When you see all these people with animals who haven't necessarily had time to take everything they need, there's a lot of advice to give and plenty of practical help we can offer, thanks to the extraordinary volume of donations we have received.
But tragedy continues to spread, including elsewhere in Europe. 3 Greek firefighters died Wednesday as fire surged across the island of Crete, fanned by strong winds. And just adjacent to Europe in southwest Turkey, similar conditions are feeding large blazes in wooded areas. Experts say Europe has always had wildfires, but that these latest ones are not at all normal.
The effect of climate change in what is happening today in Europe is very strong. It's impossible to deny it or to hide it. It's not the only thing that is happening. So this is not just about climate change. It's an emergency across scales and stakeholders. But climate change and this intense, continuous number of heat waves that we are suffering is making the forest and the vegetation a level of dryness that is very unusual.
But normal or not, it is happening, testing Europe with a grueling fight to keep the flames under some kind of control. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's stock market has fallen below 40,000 points after a brief rebound in early trading on Thursday. Taiwan's benchmark index, the TAIEX, closed down 0.26%. The stock market has been dropping throughout this week as investors became cautious over expanding capital expenditure of global AI giants and increased competition from China. The country's Financial Stabilization Fund says it only intervenes in extreme circumstances, but it's monitoring domestic and international markets in case action is needed. Taiwan's government watchdog has impeached former top trade negotiator Yang Zhenni over a high-profile workplace bullying case. The control yuan found that Yang had intentionally excluded her deputy, Yan Huixin, who died in March while on leave for health reasons. It said other members of the trade negotiation team had also been subject to improper management practices, including intimidation and isolation. Yang has denied the allegations, saying she never intended for her strict management to cause discomfort to staff. She was removed from office earlier this month as the case unfolded. The impeachment will now move to the judicial branch for further investigation. Taiwan's top fencers are sharpening their skills for the Asian Games in Japan this September, hoping to bag the nation's first ever medal in the sport. Our reporter Sandy Chi met them in training.
Crossing swords with the goal to land the winning touch. Taiwan's top fencers have their eyes set on the podium at the Asian Games in Japan this September. This time, Taiwan is sending a total of 8 fencers to the Games. Among them, the men's epee team has qualified for the first time in 36 years. Their coach believes they're ready.
那我们男子锐剑的话，从去年9月就进来国训了，然后我们有集体在国训这边一起训练，那个强度是够的，所以我们从去年9月到现在的话，我们男子锐剑的实力真的进步了非常多，所以到目前为止以团体来讲的话，我们确实是准备好了。
因为我们男锐很久没有就是进亚运了，当然是期许就是不管是我们的个人团体都可以拿到好成绩，而且因为这段时间我们这样子打团体赛下来，我会觉得我们配合的还不错，所以我们认为说这次亚运我们的夺牌机会是蛮大的。
Among the squad, there's a lot of attention on foil fencer Chen Yitong or Antonio Chen. The 23-year-old will be making his 3rd appearance at the Asian Games. He made his Asian Games debut at just 15 years old in 2018 and came within a single point of reaching the medal rounds at the last Games in Hangzhou, China in 2023.
第一次就年纪比较小，就可能就有点可以当做经验，然后第2次就真的有希望可以挑战登上颁奖台，可是我之后就发现我也自己有那个习惯，就是很想要赢，然后越想要赢的时候，失误就会变多，可能心态也会变比较急，所以我觉得。 这次，过去比赛之后，我学到就是，想要赢，可是可以用不同方式，用更有耐心的方式来打，希望可以个人跟团体都有拿牌。
Based in the United States, 2 years ago, Chen became the first Taiwanese male Olympic fencer in 36 years when he competed at the Summer Games in Paris.
他也是长期在美国那边。那美国的话，他们其实。 他们的击剑是非常强的一个国家，那这个过程当中，其实他也很多不同类型的选手，所以说，我觉得他在实战方面的话，其实对于说，应付各类型的选手的状况下反而是比较可以快一点适应的，对，所以说，我觉得蛮期待说他这一次在我们这次亚运会的一个表现。
And with a lot of tournament experience under his belt despite his young age, Chen hopes he'll be able to use that to support his teammates.
就希望可以当一个好队友，就是尤其在团体赛的时候，团体赛击剑的团体赛是那种有点像接力，就是一棒接一棒。那我们就是多鼓励队友，然后互相挺，就是让他们知道这场可能如果打不好或是没有把握的话，可以放给下一棒打。
With the games fast approaching in September, Taiwan's fencers are putting in the hard yards with quick feet as they lunge and parry their way to glory, with their sights set on the podium and securing the country's first ever medal in the sport. Yuan Duan and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, let's head to Switzerland for the Highline World Championships. I'm Laurel Stewart. Take care. See you next time.
For more stories about how Taiwan is connecting the world through innovative healthcare, download the TaiwanPlus app or follow us on social media.